So you're thinking about making a move to Florida, and you've heard about Naples, you've heard about Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. You might have even heard of Fort Myers, Fort Pierce, Tampa. All these places are prominent names in the state of Florida. But have you heard of Ponte Vedra? Well, today we're going to talk about Ponte Vedra Beach. And you might be thinking to yourself, where is Ponte Vedra Beach? Well, let's get into it right now. All right, welcome to my computer. Here we are in Ponte Vedra Beach. We are in Northeast Florida, about 17, 18 miles southeast of the city of Jacksonville, 25, 26 miles north of the historical city of St. Augustine Beach. Is this beautiful suburb, the exclusive community of Ponte Vedra Beach, located in St. Johns County, the northeast section. So to clear up some confusion, Ponte Vedra Beach is on the barrier island off the Atlantic Ocean. On the west side of the barrier island is known as Palm Valley, often confused as Ponte Vedra Beach as well, because as of 2006, the Postal Service did, for postal reasons, just gave this whole area a zip code of 32082, and the city is noted as Ponte Vedra Beach. But for locals, to differentiate, the east side of the barrier island is known as Ponte Vedra Beach. On the west side is Palm Valley, known for historically their massive palm trees and their Spanish moss trees. And so they maintain that name, Palm Valley, here. That zip code again is 32082, and it continues down to South Ponte Vedra Beach here all the way to Volcano Beach, which is again shares that 32082 zip code. South Ponte Vedra Beach just has some beach homes on South Ponte Vedra Beach Boulevard here. And then on the west side of South Ponte Vedra Beach, South Ponte Vedra Boulevard is the famous guana preserves, the Guana Talamado Matanza National Park. I hope I said that correctly. Some of my favorite secluded beaches and hiking trails down on the south end of Ponte Vedra Beach. And then, of course, you have Michler's Landing, the famous public beach entrance here as well. Just west of Ponte Vedra Beach in Palm Valley is across the Intercoastal Bridge, the Palm Valley Bridge, is Nocatee, the master plan community. And again, to make it more confusing, Nocatee is noted for U.S. mail. It is noted as Ponte Vedra, not Ponte Vedra Beach, and it has a zip code of 32081. So as soon as you go over the bridge here, you're in Palm Valley, and then you go further to the beach, then you are in Ponte Vedra Beach. But again, for real estate purposes, mail purposes, the island is known as Ponte Vedra Beach is 32082 zip code, and west of the Intercoastal Bridge is known as the master plan area of Nocatee. There are some exceptions with this community here called Marsh Harbor, which is also on 32081, but it is not part of the Nocatee master plan community. All right, so some notable distances. Obviously, everybody wants to know how far it is to Jacksonville Airport. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida to Jacksonville Airport. And again, that's a 38, 39-minute drive, depending the time of day and traffic, of course. Not too bad to have that exclusive lifestyle and not be too far away from an awesome international airport. Also, if you want to get to one of the most renowned hospitals in the world, certainly you can get to Mayo Clinic in 12 minutes from Ponte Vedra Beach. And I say that because a lot of doctors that or nurses that work at Mayo Clinic do live in Ponte Vedra Beach. So some of the most notable trips that you're going to be making to the airport and the hospital, not to be too negative and drab, but there you go, folks. Ponte Vedra Beach. Now you've heard. All right, so if you've watched my videos before, you know that I used to live in South Florida in Boca Raton, and my family and I relocated Northeast Florida to this area in Ponte Vedra 7 years ago. So why did we move? So let's get into the nitty gritty. We were starting a family, we had children, and we still wanted to be by the beach, but we were looking for great schools. So here we are at greatschools.org. And right off the bat, I put in there Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. And if you check it, I went ahead and did public schools. And when you go to greatschools.org and you put Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, they're actually going to give you schools that are actually in the Nocatee area, 3208 one area. So again, I have to tell you, if you're looking in a very specific area like Ponte Vedra Beach or Palm Valley, you really want to put that zip code in there to differentiate, narrow it down to exactly where you want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and put 32082 because that is the Palm Valley, Ponte Vedra Beach area. I'm going to go ahead and put public schools, and there you go. These are the schools in the area. If you look at the map here, Ponte Vedra Beach, and of course, even though we put that zip code in, it's still doing my daughter's school, Palm Valley Academy, which is in the Nocatee area. But if you're going to have your child in Ponte Vedra Beach area, this one is called Rawlings Elementary School. It is ranked 10 out of 10. So again, fantastic elementary school right there in Ponte Vedra Beach. And then, of course, we'll go ahead and hit this one here. This is called Oceans Palm Elementary School, and that is in the Palm Valley area of Ponte Vedra Beach, and that is also ranked 10 over 10, okay? Then we'll go ahead and check this out. In the Palm Valley area, we have Oceans Palm Elementary School, again, a 10 out of 10. So the public schools are fantastic. What about high school? Well, just to make things a little more confusing, we'll go ahead and click on here. Ponte Vedra High School is what is zoned for Ponte Vedra Beach. If you notice on the map here, it is across the bridge, and it appears to be in Nocatee, but this high school is actually what all the kids in Ponte Vedra Beach and Palm Valley are zoned for. And all the Nocatee kids are not zoned for Ponte Vedra Beach High School, although there are some that are able to get into the academies there. Ponte Vedra High School, even though it's across from the Palm Valley Bridge, it is zoned for this area here in Ponte Vedra Beach, and it has a ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay. Again, Palm Valley Academy, which is my daughter's school, was the second school ever built in Nocatee. It is called Palm Valley Academy. It's ranked 10 out of 10. It is not considered Ponte Vedra Beach. It is a 32081 zip code. So greatschools.org does not have it correct here, but they're probably confused because it is called Palm Valley Academy. And so for real estate purposes and searching homes, this is not considered Palm Valley, because Palm Valley's over here, people, on the barrier island. So again, you've got to be cautious, but this is the main reason why we were drawn to this area, was that we thought, wow, there are fantastic schools here, general, public, and private. We personally we're happy with the idea of great public schools here in Florida, which is not very common. So this was a great option for us starting a family as well as being close to the beach. So let's talk about that. All right, we're back to the map because here's the second reason why we moved to this area from South Florida, and that is because we still wanted to be near the beaches. That's right. For those of you that know and watch my previous videos, I might have mentioned before I actually grew up in the Caribbean islands and I lived in South Florida for a good portion of my life, and I've always been near the beach. So not only do we want good schools, and if I failed to mention before, not only do we have fantastic private public schools here in Ponte Vedra and Ponte Vedra Beach, we also have amazing private schools as well, notable like the Bowles School Academy, if you will, Collage, to name a few. So make sure you realize that as a factor as well. Now, getting back to beaches, now in Northeast Florida, in comparison to the Caribbean and South Florida, let's be completely transparent and say that the ocean water is not as blue as in South Florida, okay? So we're not as close to the Gulf Stream here. We're kind of in the armpit of the United States here in Northeast Florida, which is great because it makes us less susceptible to hurricanes. Hurricanes usually hit south of our area, south of St. Augustine, and bank up to the Carolinas. And this is, it's not a prominent elbow armpit if you see kind of like the Gulf Coast, but a little bit of an armpit. So usually when you see storms coming in from the Atlantic, usually they'll hit somewhere around this area. We haven't had a direct hit to this area in decades, but usually they hit here and then bounce towards the Carolinas, if you will, which is more up this way. But I digress. So one of the main reasons we moved here is for the beaches. And again, because we're kind of in this little armpit of the U.S., we don't have as much water coming through, water circulation, as you would on the southern ends of Florida or in the Gulf. But we do have also the contents of this massive St. Johns River emptying out here just north of us, which is causing our water to be not as crystal blue in some of the southern parts of Florida. So our beaches are still beautiful. The water is still awesome, but it doesn't appear to be as blue, and it's a common complaint. On the contrary, though, I think our beaches are very specifically in this Ponte Vedra area. Our beaches are very exclusive and a lot more secluded, if you will, than some of the other beaches like Jack's Beach or Neptune Beach, Atlantic Beach, some of my favorites. And the reason I say that is because Ponte Vedra Beach, the beach side, it has a lot of beach clubs and a lot of residentials on the beach. So there's not as much public access to the beach in Ponte Vedra Beach, or at least on the north side of Ponte Vedra Beach. The most accessible, best parking for public beaches, for the public beach access in Ponte Vedra Beach is Michler's Landing, which I pulled up here. Has a lot of good reviews, 4.6. We'll go ahead and pull that up so you can see some pictures. That is a private residence, I believe. But again, you do have lifeguards. This is the ocean. It's not like a real blue. It's kind of got like a brownish, greenish tint to it. But the sand is gorgeous. It's known for its coquina sand, which coquina in Spanish is for shells. So if you love picking shells, also a big area for people that like to look for shark's teeth. This is where people go to check out the beaches. Also, the sand is very hard packed, so you can ride your bike, hike, jog on the beach as well. Very popular options. But the reason people go to this beach particularly is because it has the most public parking, and then it also has bathrooms, a little boardwalk accessibility. And so that is the reason why a lot of people will go to Michler's. Now, really quick, it looks like Mickler's. It's called Mickler's. It was actually land that was donated to St. Johns County from the Mickler family. And so if anybody gets aggravated by that, maybe they're just really close to the Mickler family and that's the way they pronounce their name. So out of respect for them, we try to be respectful for their donation and enunciate it correctly as Micklers, not Micklers. And you know what? Sometimes I mess up and do it too, but it is Micklers. For me and my family, we really like the more secluded park beaches south of there. The Guana beaches, I call them, the Guana preserves or reserve. They have 3 entrances, and the one that has the boardwalk, which has easy accessibility with the coolers and beach chairs, because we take the whole world with us to the beach when we do go, is the 3rd entrance down here in the south. It's the furthest one south. That means a little less people on the weekends. Weekdays, definitely way less secluded. I can also bring my dog Paisley there. Northeast Florida is just super dog friendly in general. And then also across from the beach is also an entrance to the island where you can do some hiking. You can rent a kayak and kayak in the water here, which I like to do with my daughters from time to time. Again, what drew us to the area was the nature aspect this area has to offer. It's so untouched and beautiful, as you can see from these pictures here on the Google Maps. Just absolutely gorgeous, untouched area. Closest thing I can refer to for my South Florida people is this kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the beach parks in Jupiter in South Florida. That's how I would describe this area as well. So if you like hiking and you like the beach and you're not so caught up in, blue waters, then this is a place for you. It's got a really cool nature vibe here. And so for me, growing up on the islands in South Florida, I needed to be near the beach. So it was the schools that drew me here. It was the beach. All right, so we moved here because of the schools. We moved here because we wanted to be close to the beach. We moved to Ponte Vedra because I love golf. All right, just kidding. I suck at golf, but let's face it, you can't be good and only play 3-4 times a year. And of course, I sell real estate. I'm a real estate broker. And so I work in probably 60, 70 hours a week some weeks. So I'm not your typical golfer, but I will say that this area has some of the best golf courses in Florida, here in Ponte Vedra. We're, of course, renowned, well known for the Players Club, TPC Sawgrass, and of course, a lot of folks have called me that have relocated here to work for the PGA. One of their PGA headquarters is here in Ponte Vedra Beach. So let's talk about the golf. Are there public courses to play at? Yeah, so you can, if you have the cash, you can shell it out for a round of golf at TPC Sawgrass. And then right here we have the Yards is also another public course that you can play at as well. And then if you stay at the Ponte Vedra Inn Club, the world famous Ponte Vedra Inn Club, it's been around since 1912, I believe. It's a historical staple of Ponte Vedra Beach. You can play on their golf course, their member courses, I believe. So check it out. My wife and I love to go once a year to the Ponte Vedra Inn Club, to their spa, and go ahead and enjoy a couples massage and hang out at the pool. But the exclusive Ponte Vedra Inn Club is absolutely phenomenal. So if you love to golf, if you do shell out the cash for a room at the Ponte Vedra Inn Club, you can probably get in on their course as well. One thing to make note, moving here from from Boca Raton, Florida, one of the big things in Boca Raton with the golf club and country clubs, when I sold real estate down there, it was really difficult after the 2007, 8, 9 crash, because folks didn't want to shell out 70, 80, or $100,000 to extra to buy a house to be in a golf club community. Here in Ponte Vedra, I've noticed that if you want to live, for instance, in Marsh Landing, a wonderful community in Ponte Vedra Beach, you can buy a home there and not have to have country club membership, whether it's social or golf or tennis. Same goes for Sawgrass Country Club. Again, if you want to live in Sawgrass, you do not need to be a member of the country club, as opposed to in South Florida, in certain communities, if you purchase a home in that country club neighborhood, you are obliged to have membership. So here it is not necessary. So you can live in a lot of these communities. I also had the good fortune, or maybe not, playing at Plantation Country Club, which I was probably, I would say, unfortunate because I lost more balls there than any other course. But and then Marsh Landing, again, I got invited to play in a tournament there with a group and never got invited back again. So again, my golf is not good, people. But of course, if you're into golf, this is definitely the area to be, not just Ponte Vedra Beach, but Northeast Florida. You've got St. Augustine has a lot of courses. Jacksonville's got some very renowned courses as well. So great area for golf. And of course, I can't ignore that, once a year we have the Players Club tournament at TPC. Let's see if I'm getting the sharing here going. So once a year, TPC Players Club Championship is one of the biggest tournaments, and this area is super busy. And a lot of us and residents love to go ahead and attend this tournament. It's quite a sight in Sawgrass. TPC is famous for their 17th hole, which is a sight to see for sure. Definitely worth the visit. It's what draws people here on a national level. It's hard to believe because this area is so small that you definitely notice an influx, traffic, crowds. This place becomes crazy during the Players Club tournament. All right, let's talk about one of my favorite topics of all. All right, really quick, a shameless plug heading to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already and you're watching this far, go ahead and do me a favor and tap that subscribe button. It helps me a lot in the algorithm. And remember, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm actually a real estate broker. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, I'd love to be your resource of choice. Make sure you go ahead and text me, call me, or email me. My information will be in the comments section and in the description. So it's never too early to give me a call. So I digress. Let's move on here. One of the things that are near and dear to my heart, or should I say my stomach, is dining. If you haven't checked out this video I did a couple years ago, it's got over 4,000 hits. It's all the top restaurants that my wife and I love here in Jacksonville, with some honorable mentions. We are foodies, and so that's important to us. So if that's important to you, let's go ahead and go over some of our favorite places to go in Ponte Vedra Beach. All right. Let's see here. Now we're on the Google Maps, and I'm going to go ahead and hit some of these restaurants. So usually when people are in town, like my last folks that were visiting from Miami this week, they wanted to know a good place to go and eat lunch. And I sent them over to Valley Smoke Restaurant. It's one of my favorites here. Now, it is considered a barbecue restaurant, but honestly, you can get anything you want there. It has incredible ambiance. It's right on the water, and they always have specials. It really is an awesome place to check out. I also do some of my customer appreciation events, so check out the menu here. But it is also on the water, so it's quite a sight to see. Here's a couple pictures of the food. Amazing brisket. I went to school, University of Texas in Austin, so I've had Texas barbecue And I will say that if you get a marbly brisket here, you will not be disappointed. And look at that, it's right on the intercoastal. Great view, great ambiance, great bar. Got to give them a plug. They do a really good job over there. So let's go ahead and get back to the list here. Valley Smoke is definitely one of our favorites. Now, if you're visiting and you want to go and sit dine on the beach, 1912 Ocean Bar and Rooftop, that is one of the places you can sit on a veranda rooftop and have dinner. You will have to book that in advance, people. It is not easy to just hop over there and have a quick meal. Food's really good. We went there recently. Sometimes sometimes it takes a little while to get your meal, whatever. But if you're going out to relax and enjoy the ambiance of the ocean, and you don't have children with you like I did, that shouldn't bother you. But for the most part, we're pretty satisfied. Make sure you bring a healthy budget for that meal, but it is quite an experience dining on the water there for sure. Another big date night for us is a big night and a fancy meal, and we know we're going to get good service and a good meal, is Restaurant Madure. They've been around for quite a while. The brothers that run that joint have quite a few restaurants. So for Ponte Vedra Beach, we definitely like going to Madure. It's a date night for us. I also send some of my clients there with gift cards because it is a dining experience, and it's excellent. And we go with the kids as well, and they serve them a really nice healthy meal other than the standard chicken McNuggets. But again, not cheap, but definitely a date night or fancy night out. That's one of our favorites as well. And then if you want to just go casual and you're not looking for anything fancy, you're going to go to Nona Blue. It's right there in Ponte Vedra Beach. Pretty casual, but great food. It definitely got a little pricey lately, but for all my folks in South Florida or elsewhere that like Houston's or J.R. Alexander's, this is like a hybrid of that. They do a really good job. Their service is great. It's not too expensive, not cheap either, but some really nice meals there. When they have it on special, the sea bass is incredible. So that's one of our other favorites. You've got the Metro Diner there too, which is a popular diner for this area as well. So lots of great dining options here. I know some people complain about it, but there are some good places to eat. And if you venture out of Ponte Vedra Beach, Jacksonville's huge. There are a lot of other options. So check out my top 5 best restaurants in Jacksonville video as well. And that way you will not buy into all the social media that says that we don't have any decent dining here. Oh, by the way, also a big shout out to V's Pizza. They have restaurants all over the Jacksonville area, but I love particularly the V's Pizza in Palm Valley. The wings are to die for. The pizzas are fantastic. So I particularly like this store the best, to be honest with you. We enjoy getting a fresh pizza there and a drink. So definitely another stop off I got to mention as well. All right, people, we're wrapping this up. We're going to talk about real estate now, all right? That's what we came here for. Cost of living in Ponte Vedra Beach, 32082 is not cheap. It is definitely a prominent area. And I'm not saying it's completely unaffordable, but you're definitely looking in the 700 to 10, $15 million range. I say that because there's quite a span of real estate here, depending on your wants and needs. So really quick, I'm going to explain something very clear here. As I said earlier, let's go ahead and do the county overlays. I'm going to minimize my big head. And actually zip codes is what I want here. So I can kind of convey to you on the real estate and on the MLS what the zip codes look like. So with all these green dots here, this is Ponte Vedra Beach and Palm Valley area. Those are all the homes that are available for sale. And then across the bridge, the Palm Valley Bridge is 32081. This is the Nocatee area and Marsh Harbor and a couple other neighborhoods that are not part of the Nocatee Master Plan community. So again, if you are looking, I think, so because you're near the beach, the real estate in 32082 Ponte Vedra Beach and Palm Valley is probably some of the most expensive real estate in this area for sure, especially the beachfront properties or the intercoastal properties. And Nocatee 32081, we can compete with those high prices. We've gotten very expensive as well. The difference here and why we picked Nocatee over that area is that we were looking at maybe a little bit smaller home, but homes that were in Ponte Vedra Beach that were built in 1995 to 2005. They were really a lot older. And in that older floor plan where you had that formal formal dining or living area that you would walk into in the front, and then you would have the playroom in the back, or the TV room off the kitchen in the back. So a little bit more compartmentalized floor plans, and these homes needed updating and renovating. So for the same price or less, I could come, or a little bit less, I could come into 32081 Nocatee across from the Intercoastal and basically get a brand new home for the same price. So we had already renovated a home, and so we decided on the 32081 Ponte Vedra Nocatee area over the 32082. Now, the dream is always to be eventually in the 32082 area. Eventually, once the kids are finished with school, I'd like to be near the beach or be a member of a golf club and actually improve that golf. But for some of you that want to skip that and you say, hey, you know what? Depending on where you're coming from, you may say, hey, a 2004 is not a big deal for me. Let me just skip it and live closer to the beach. And I will say, because you're on the barrier island, your insurance is going to be a little bit more expensive as well. And you're going to require flood insurance in some of these areas, as opposed to a Nocatee 32081 area. We're mostly ex-flood zone, doesn't require flood insurance, although I think it's cheap enough. I would just get it anyway. But home insurance is definitely a lot cheaper in this area. So overall, probably the cost of living is a little bit cheaper than Nocatee, but Nocatee is not cheap either by any means. It all depends, right? It's all relative to you and your income, but a very prominent area, a golf club area. Nocatee is more of a master plan community, completely different. And I will, if you would like to put in the comments that you would like me to specifically talk about the differences, I will on a whole nother video. So go ahead and put that comment down there if you want me to get into the absolute differences. I think it would be a good video to make. As far as real estate, let's go ahead and talk about, so our average price of a single family home in Nocatee is roughly around $750,000. And so let's go ahead and look at the average price home in Ponte Vedra Beach, which is more like $950,000. So I have this whole entire zip code outlined on MLS here, and I'm going to go ahead and see what you can get, because a lot of my calls, people are looking for a 4-bedroom with a den. Now, if you look here in Ponte Vedra Beach, I have 8, and I put a very specific price point. I did $750,000 to $950,000, and all I got in this whole community was 8 houses. And look at the size of them. All right, the biggest one is not bad, 2,700 square feet, a 4.3 for $300 a square foot. And this one has a pool, and not a bad looking house. Let me see where this is. Okay, so this is one of the affordable neighborhoods. It's called Dolphin Cove, and the allure to a community like this and this is one of the bigger homes there, 4-bedroom, 3-bath. The allure to that is that you don't have a CDD fee. This is a 1975 home, and so you don't have to worry about major CDD fees and HOA fees. So that could be an option for you. Let's go ahead and look at this one here. Again, this is, let's look at the actual details of this. This is in Sawgrass, which is a HOA community. It's only 1,755 square feet, and you're looking at $760,000. Decent sized lot. That's one thing I will tell you is it's a 1979 decent sized lot. That's one thing I will tell you is that you will get larger lots than you will in Nocatee. And this is inside TPC Sawgrass. Let's take a look at these photos. This one's done some renovations, so it's been updated. Again, a lot of the homes in Ponte Vedra Beach, these older homes, some of them will be renovated, some will be partially renovated. It just depends. But again, for $760,000, you're looking at 1,755 square feet, and it's been on the market 261 days. So I have to look more into that as far as price. But again, not a lot of options. If I were to just switch the zip code to 32081 in Nocatee, my results went up to 57 for the same search. So you're going to see more options in Nocatee and Ponte Vedra for, the similar price point house. You're going to have a lot more options in Nocatee. You're also going to have newer homes that aren't as old. Just for comparison, this home was built in 2017. The last ones I showed you, again, those were more like 1979, much older homes in that price point. So what would I do here in a search if you were looking for a 4-bedroom? Because this is zip code 32082. The average price is $950, not really $750. So what I would do is I would change the price here from, let's say, $900, a little bit low, but between their medium average price, and go up to $2 million. And let's see what we happen. Okay, so we went from 8 to 18 homes, a little bit better. And now you're starting to see a little bit more square footage, see some pools there. And again, these prices are in the 350 to 450 range, 380. See, this is $1,025,000 for 2690. So I guess what I'm saying is if you want a bigger home and you want a healthy budget, this has some renovations, you're really going to be needing to be more in the $1 million+ range to be in Ponte Vedra Beach. And even then, you won't get everything you want, but you'll have that Ponte Vedra Beach 32082 zip code. And then the really nice homes, again, if you're going to be in this area, the really nice homes are going to be definitely more so in the, I would say, 1, 2 to 2.3 million. That would be a healthier budget for you if you're going to live in this zip code. There you go. Now you're starting to see 63 homes. And I think the only thing I would do, obviously, is I would eliminate, depending on what your needs are, a lot of the short-term rentals and the beach properties on the south end are not really close to the commercial or the schools or anything. So for folks that want all the action and being in Ponte Vedra Beach, you do also have to include in that search a very specific area, which I will do here. I'll put my shape in to be on the north side of, I don't want that. No. I want this so that I can do a very specific search to Ponte Vedra Beach, which is right here. So that eliminates all the south side of Ponte Vedra Beach. And again, you have 47 homes. Prices are still pretty high. You're looking at $450 to $750 a square foot for a decent sized house. This one's 1.325, 1.3 million. Decent sized house, 3-car garage. Got to watch out for those stucco homes, people. You got to make sure that if they're not on concrete block, that they're on wood frames, that they're sealed properly and been taken care of and maintained. But again, this is just to give you an idea. This one is in Marsh Landing Country Club. Again, half an acre, large lot. Definitely going to be some maintenance. This is a 1992. So again, older homes, larger lots, higher price point. And then again, finally for my high rollers, I'm going to eliminate this shell here and tell you if you're a high roller and you want to be in the place to live in Ponte Vedra Beach, you're going to want to be here around the Ponte Vedra Inn Club near the beach. That's old Ponte Vedra. And I put 1.2 to 2.3, but let's be realistic here. Let's put a real healthy budget. Let's say single family, and we're going to look at let's see what they have here. So here we go. This is a really nice home. Let's see where it is. So it's near the Ponte Vedra Inn Club, 4.7 million. It's built in 1991, almost half acre, walking distance to the beach. And this is what you're looking at. Pretty nice. Again, property taxes are not cheap in St. Johns County. And then, of course, being near the beach, your insurance can be a lot higher. But beautiful home, gorgeous architecture near the beach. Hopefully, you can get your membership to the Ponte Vedra Inn Club and have the best of all worlds. Another popular spot. This one's listed at 6.4 million. Again, they're buying homes in old Ponte Vedra Beach, tearing them down and completely remodeling and renovating them. So a lot of folks are moving up from South Florida. I think driving along there by the beach, I've seen signs that said, "Don't Miami my Ponte Vedra." So very exclusive area. So if you're looking for something high end, definitely the area, very exclusive. A lot of builders are just buying these older homes, tearing them down and building brand new homes because the real estate is really, really popular right now in this area. So again, when you start getting closer to the beach, you're looking at $700, $660 a square foot, $1,000 a square foot, $1,200. So that area is where you want to be if you're looking for exclusive real estate. You want to be in near the Ponte Vedra Inn Club. That is the area to be. So great options if you're trying to get out of South Florida or out of California and you want somewhere exclusive. That is it, folks. All right, I hope you found this video useful, and I will warn you that this very specific area, Ponte Vedra Beach, zip code 32082, is a very tricky market to navigate. So I highly recommend, if you're considering this area or in the Nocatee area, you definitely want to have representation to guide you. There are a lot of flood areas in that particular zip code that you need to be very cautious of. You really want to know your expenses going in. And then, of course, the homes being a lot older, you want to make sure that you have a real estate professional like myself guiding you through that process in your house hunt that works within your budget if you're considering that area. My name is Greg DeTullio. Again, I'm a real estate broker locally here in Ponte Vedra. I'd love to be your resource of choice. Again, you can text me, call me, email me. We'll pin to the descriptions, and we'll pin to the comments and also pin to the descriptions. Make sure you subscribe. I have additional videos. Again, top restaurants. I have best beaches. You can check them out next, and I will see you there.